because Kenoshi never showed up. So no.
Of course.
I'll send him a message. How's it going, folks? We are live with another episode of BS Busters. And before we go any further, I'll let the lady introduce herself first, and then we'll dive right into it after the cut. Well, not the cut. After everything. So go ahead, Jewel.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all ages, welcome to BS Busters and the Week Podcast Time. Oh, brother, we got a lot to unload today, and I was already.
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but we'll do the best we can. All right. And of course, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, owner, proprietor of BS Busters. And let's dive into it. So we've got some. This has actually been a pretty big week for news in video gaming, despite the COVID stuff. Yeah, despite the COVID stuff, and people being stuck in their houses, you know, it's been big. So the first little bit of news, well, not little, pretty big. The WWE 2K series has been canceled for this year. It's not coming out this year.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
to be fair, the 2K series before last year's installment was actually. I mean, I'm not really into the to wrestling games except for King of the Monsters 1 and 2. I'm not really into wrestling games, but from people I've heard, there's this YouTube channel called Steven Larson. They're the guys who used to do 10 for the Win. And one of the big things with them is that they have this thing where they essentially go around playing using WWE 2K to like create their own fake wrestling promotions, and they have like little shows, and I enjoyed watching it. I'm not saying that I would do that, all the time, but it was a nice little thing to watch. But I never really liked playing those types of games. But I mean, for the people who were really looking forward to it, I mean, it's gone now. I mean, it's it's not going to be here this year because apparently the people who made WWE 19, basically they had a main studio for the previous iterations before 19, and then a secondary studio that helped the main studio. Well, the main studio wanted more money, and 2K said, "Hell no, we'll get the second stringers to take over." And the second stringers made WWE 19, which, from what I heard, was a steaming pile of.
It was a disaster.
How can I describe WWE 2K19? You know that scene in Jurassic Park where Ian Malcolm finds that big pile of shit?
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, that's what
That's a
WWE.
load of.
Yeah, that's what 2K19 was like. How's it going, Kenoshi?
It's going all right. How are you?
It's going fine. You got here just in time. We're just going over the fact that 2K20 is well, it's being skipped this year because the last year's iteration was trash. Um, from what I heard, it was a steaming pile of dookie. It was pretty bad. And when I say bad, I mean it graphically it was simplistic, and the gameplay was, from what I heard, was very just like meh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Well, I mean, I know they're fans of. I know that they're fans of. You know. I know they're huge fans of those types of games, but. I mean, you know. I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of a fan of like I said, I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but 2K, I mean, here's the thing. 2K wants to you want to make an annual series, okay? And you want it to have a certain level of quality, which means they should have paid the main studio who was making this series for years and years and years. Which, to be fair, I mean, it was getting kind of stale and samey, but you had a certain level of quality. Whereas this last one, the dip in quality was so precipitous because they just got the second string studio to make that game. I mean, you know, and you could tell that they got, you know, the second stringers to make that game. So, I mean, you know, don't be surprised when you go cheap. Don't be surprised when you get cheap when you go cheap. All right, that's all I'm saying. Thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? I'll be right back. I gotta get my tea.
Okay. And if anything franchise that always comes out, I'm doing the I mean, seriously, it means that we don't with one of those yearly games that barely updates like FIFA.
Well, good news. I finally got that. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I finally got that. There's this little side thing. There's a software that NVIDIA has called NVIDIA RTX Voice, which cuts out background noise.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so if I'm like typing on or if something really loud is happening in the background, you can barely hear it. It's
Cancels it out.
Related.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Pretty nice.
Noise suppression, if you will, but it's hardware based, not software based, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's hardware based. It uses the various cores on the GPU that aren't being used. So.
Oh, well, man, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Let's see what else. So yeah, the 2K people. You know, for the people who are looking forward to a 2K this year, I mean, whoever you are, like, I can't understand people who buy games annually. I don't get it, but you know, knock yourselves out. Next little bit of news. We had a couple of hacks this week. um, both of which are really big news. One is much bigger than the other. So basically, we had a hack on the Switch where apparently 160,000 people, Nintendo accounts may have been compromised. Nintendo is telling people to reset your password and set up a two-factor authentication code. So it's not cool, man.
Whoever wants to be hacked.
No, I don't like. Here's the thing, okay? If it's kind of like, you know, when you go someplace and they have free Wi-Fi versus
I knew it. You go into this.
And they have free Wi-Fi versus paid Wi-Fi. Like, if it's free Wi-Fi, you kind of take your chances, you know. But if it's paid Wi-Fi, you're paying for a certain modicum of internal security on their end. And if they can't even keep their shit together, then that's not on you as the customer. That's on them. The people who, you know, have that online service. So, get your shit together, Nintendo. Speaking of companies not having their shit together, Valve also had a hack that's even bigger than Nintendo's hack, with basically the source code for their for Counter-Strike and Team Fortress, I think Team Fortress 2, was leaked. And basically, they don't know who did it.
That's the real problem. problem.
Yeah, they don't know who did it, but here's what Gabe Newell said. He says, our lawyers are looking to find out who leaked this information. And basically, he said in a very nice way that when they find out who did it, they're coming after your ass. They're going to hunt you down.
I was about to say, have you seen Gabe Newell's knife collection?
I haven't seen his knife collection, but I'm pretty sure... I haven't seen their knife collection, but I'm pretty sure, like, Valve's lawyers are almost as bad as Nintendo's ninjas. So, you know, don't go fucking around, son.
I was about to say, if I remember right, they better hope that they're not in the same nation as Gabe Newell, because somebody across the waters, they got arrested already, and they could have gotten in the U.S.
Or worst comes to worst, Gabe will just hold you down and sit on you. And Gabe Newell's a huge dude, so that's your ass. So yeah, we have two things. I mean, it's both pretty bad. For Counter-Strike, for Valve, having the source code leaked means that potentially anyone who logs into Counter-Strike on a public server and not a private server can basically potentially have their information taken. So it's a larger hack. That's not good. Especially when you think about Valve's is a free service, and a lot of people use Steam for all types of shit. So it's not good. Nintendo's hack is bad because, you know, anyone's shit getting hacked is not a good thing. It's kind of worse in my opinion because, you know, I mean, you're paying for Nintendo's online. I mean, like, what the fuck are they spending their money on? If, you know, they can't even guarantee a modicum of, like, a bare minimum of safety. The hilarious thing is that apparently their online service was more difficult to hack when it was free. Like, I just think they're taking this money and just putting it in their pocket. I don't think they're doing shit with it. But I could be wrong, you know? I hope I'm wrong. I hope they're actually, you know,
we don't
making their servers better, or, you know, using that money to get gaming licenses to put on their virtual cons. I mean, sorry, their library, their online library.
That's my best guess. That they're trying to solidify.
Well, they better do something, because this is unacceptable for a paid online service.
Yeah.
And this isn't just a Nintendo thing. When Sony's shit gets hacked, it's unacceptable, especially when you're charging people $60, $70 a year. And, you know, if Microsoft shit gets hacked, it's unacceptable. If I'm paying for an online service, I'm paying to know that there's a modicum of security with my data. Okay? That's what I'm paying for. Okay? If it's free, then, you know, whatever happens, happens. But when I'm paying for it, I expect a certain level of quality. Okay? So, you know, get your shit together, all of you. Next, the Splatoon clone, Ninjala. I just like that name. I mean, I don't know anything about the game, but the name sounds cool. Ninjala.
I get a better information from you in a sense. Since it's so far, it looks like that combines weapons, tools, and, well, bubblegum.
Yeah, it's a Splatoon clone, basically. It's a Splatoon clone.
Comes that out?
No, the open demo comes out tomorrow. No, or is it Monday? It's either tomorrow or Monday. And it'll be open for, like, I think a week or 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a bit hesitant to get into a Splatoon clone. I mean, the one thing that this has in its favor is that it is free to play, so, like,
if anything, you could at least blow a load of fun in there.
Yeah, well, I would say it's free to try.
Yeah, that was unintentional.
It's free to try. It's free to try. The downside about the game is that from what I've been able to understand, it has a battle pass and microtransactions in it, I think. So, I mean, I don't like microtransactions because if you really tally up all the shit you can buy in free to play games, it's more expensive than if you just spent $60 on the game. So,
Yeah, I could where some of that goes, but if anything, hopefully it won't. Monster says what or hope I got.
okay. So basically, at this point, I'm kind of like, I mean, I'll give it a try. I mean, I'll give the demo a try just for old time's sake. But I mean, as a Splatoon fanboy, I'll see how good this clone is. Because sometimes a clone is pretty damn good. Like Dark Side, the first Darksiders is a really good Legend of Zelda clone. Um, Okami is a really good Legend of Zelda clone. You know what I mean? So sometimes the clones are pretty good.
Yeah.
If a clone could be an original, that would be a upset.
Well, I mean, think about it. You got Freedom Planet, which is a clone of a 2D Sonic the Hedgehog game. Um, I mean, technically, Sonic the Hedgehog is a Mario clone. Um,
No, it
They
seemed
almost
like it didn't.
last.
Wasn't like other clones. It seemed like it did enough to differentiate
yeah,
itself.
okay. Yeah, that wasn't a good example. Okay, Streets of Rage is a Final Fight clone. And Streets of
Right.
Rage does everything that Final Fight did, but does it better. So sometimes, like, a clone can actually surpass what it's cloning. I don't think Ninjala is gonna surpass Splatoon 2, which is, I guess, what it's a clone of. But you know, let's see him try. Like I said, I'm a little worried that it's a free to play game
Yeah.
because I'm like when something says free to play, I'm like, oh shit. Well,
Do we know
I'll be
who's
able to buy my
behind it?
Stripe for it.
Do we know the developers behind it?
yeah, I mean they planned it to be free to play. I'm kind of hesitant about free to play games. I'm just kind of like, you know, because the thing about free to play is these companies like no one releases something free to play just because there's a revenue stream involved. And how are they going to do that? Microtransactions, game like battle passes, what? Because it's expensive to maintain something without a steady revenue stream.
Yeah.
And I
Like
don't.
they have to
No, go ahead, Kadoshi.
they have to maintain all the servers. They have to maintain the maintenance of the servers. So
Yeah,
they gotta make some. They gotta make money somewhere.
yeah, and I mean, like I said, I just don't want to see. I don't want to see people come in and just be like. I don't want to see people get in really into this game and then have it not do well. Have a small dedicated fan base and then you know uh,
And then watch it vanish.
then watch the servers get pulled and then they can't play it anymore. But I mean, knock on wood. They're still working out kinks. The game might turn into something good later on because there's a lot of battle royale games out there. You got Fortnite, Overwatch, Splatoon, Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5, even Call of Duty now is a battle royale style game. So, I mean, the market is pretty damn saturated with these types of titles. So, Counter Strike, Team Fortress, those are all battle. Uh, you know, Games where it's like a big arena and people are shooting at each other and doing stuff. So, whatever. Next little bit of news. The PC Gaming Show will return June 6th. Ha ha!
It somehow has got. They use Monster Reborn on that.
Well, I'm quite happy that it's coming back. So,
Happy that it's coming back.
well, because there needs to be something. And to be fair, I mean, if there was ever a show that should really be online anyway, it's the computer gaming show because let's keep it real. Even if all you have to game on is a PC, most games these days are download only anyway. Like you're not actually like a lot of games you can't even get physical versions of the games anymore. So the only way you can get them is digitally. So it makes sense that you know uh, so you know I mean it's gonna be awkward because all you're gonna have are people sitting in a room talking to a screen and showing off demos and shit. But it's good that there's something going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Though, if anything, it makes me wonder how come E3 hasn't pulled this stuff off.
Well, because E3 has more shit going on, and I guarantee most of the shit shown at the PC gaming show is literally demos and someone reading off of a card. Which, I mean, you don't need a huge space to do that. You can do that online, you know?
Yeah.
Namco Bandai, speaking of not having to do things, Namco Bandai has handed a big FU to Switch owners.
Let me guess. A certain game is going to everywhere but the Switch.
Yeah, Pac Man Championship Edition 2 is free for keeps on Steam, Xbox One, and the PS4. If you have a Switch, well, fuck you. It's basically how that's essentially. But first, here's what I have to say to Switch owners. Okay, if the only thing you have to game on is a Switch, you basically need to take a quarter and stick it in your ass because you played yourself. Because a lot of the games that you've been playing on the Switch are ports of shit that you could have gotten way cheaper if you had something else to play them on, like a PC or a Xbox One or a PS4. And here's the thing: you can get an Xbox One for way cheaper than a Switch. So yeah, you can get an all digital one used for like $125. So it's like if you're getting fucked over by pricing by the Switch, you have no one to blame but yourself because you're like, I only want a game on this. What? You need to repeat yourself. You kind of blinked in and out.
Thankfully, I did not.
You didn't only have a Switch?
As in, I did not, or at least think about buying it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I got the game on PC, and it's kind of fun. It's basically a new take on Pac Man. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know how much it is on the Switch. Probably too damn much, because really the game should only be like $10. It's a $10 game. Here, let me look up the price on the Switch. So on the Switch, this game is $20 on the Switch. That's like $10 too much.
Did he cut it out?
Yeah, that game should not be. That game should not be any more than I want to say like it should be more than $10. So if you're a Nintendo fan and you paid, like, here's the thing: this game came out February 22nd, 2018. Yeah, that game is too goddamn much. I'm guessing when it came out, it was probably $39.99 or $29.99, and the price kind of went down a little bit, but that's still too damn much. So,
Yeah.
Like I said, and Nintendo fans are like, why can't we have it? Because you guys paid too damn much when the shit came out. See, if you're a Nintendo fan and you're getting a game on the Switch and it's a multi-plat, and you're paying more for it than it is on other platforms, you have no one to blame but yourself when they don't give you bennies because you took the shit. You never take the first offer. You got to bargain for it. That's on you guys. Okay? That's on you, all right? Look, if a car normally goes for 30,000, or at least that's the base price, but you can get the same car brand new for 15. Why pay 30 when you can get it for 15? But oh well, that's on you guys. Um, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Oh, and Bethesda. Bethesda just can't stop, won't stop.
Don't tell me they set the number 2 again.
Yeah, they messed up again. So basically, as we all know, the big thing for Fallout 76 was when the Wastelanders DLC came out. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Wastelanders DLC is, the Wastelanders DLC is the DLC that's supposed to add NPCs, factions, side quests to a Fallout game, which is kind of like what people want in a Fallout game in the first damn place. But whatever. So basically, Bethesda decided to add they pushed back the Wastelander DLC so they could add these features. But as we all know, Bethesda can't do anything right. So basically, because they aren't good at bug testing or game design, really, Fallout 76, the NPCs are looting the dead bodies of players who've died in the gaming world. And not only are they looting the dead bodies, but they're taking their armor and their weapons from them. And you can't get the shit back. So you got a really cool gun. If you died with that gun and an NPC is around, they'll get that shit and take it for themselves. Kind of like what would really happen in a post-apocalyptic scenario. Yeah, I don't even think this is a bug. I just think that's some realism injected into the game.
That's hilarious.
You know, it's like all these Fallout 76 fanboys. Man, when the Wastelanders comes in, it's gonna fix everything. It's gonna fix everything. I'm like, haven't you played a Bethesda game before? Don't you know that almost everything they do is always fucked? It's like, oh man, that's cool, but you know, it's like, you know, like Bethesda is like, oh man, this is like Bethesda is kind of like, hey man, this older dude wants to send this young lady to college, wants to pay for her to go to college, but he's also gonna molest her. It's, you know, that's basically Bethesda. It's like, hey, I'm gonna sell you a car, but yeah, there was a dead body in the back seat for like 3 days in a hot sun, so the whole car smells like a corpse. You know, that's Bethesda. There's always a but involved that basically makes it not, you know, worth it.
I was about to say, there's always a but somewhere.
Yeah.
Once you find it, beware the stench.
But like, you know, I mean, even with Skyrim, it's like, hey guys, we've got 4 bits of DLC for Skyrim, but one of them's just gonna be you building a house. It's like, why would anyone want that type of DLC in a game? For an expansion pass. Okay, you've got one DLC where you're fighting vampires. Okay, that's cool. You got one DLC where you're you go to this island that like kind of feels like a throwback to another game. You've got one DLC where no, that's it. And then you get a third DLC where you just build houses. That sounds kind of stupid to me, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And our last little bit of news before we move on to the free topic is, for those of you who are fans of 8-year-old MMOs.
I was about to say MMO.
Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming to PC next month. You can get it. You can get it on the Xbox One right now, but it's coming to the PC in late May, and it's coming exclusively to the Microsoft Store, which kind of makes me a bit hesitant to get it. You know, I'm a huge fan of Phantasy Star Online 1, though, so I might get it. But for those of you who might be looking forward to try this game is, how can I put this? It's an 8-year-old MMO, all right? It's old and really archaic.
That I can get.
So, and it's a Japanese MMO, so it's really like Japanese MMOs are always about 5 years behind the curve any goddamn way. So, just saying. All right. So don't be surprised when some shit jumps off. I'm just letting you guys know. All right. I don't want no problems now.
Is it free to play or well, how are they doing this?
What's free to play?
The
Yeah, it's
the
free.
cinema.
Yeah, it's free to play, which means there's tons of microtransactions in the shit. Cause that's how it always is, isn't it? They're like, hey, it's free to play. Shit. You know what that means?
Yeah. Some of us that have the patience of a monk or Buddha, we can endure free to play.
Well, I mean,
So,
like, here's the thing.
I'm gonna say that now.
I played a lot of Phantasy Star Online back in the day. I love Phantasy Star Online. Actually, I played the original Phantasy Star Online so much that um,
That you got pictures of it.
no, I played the original. I played Phantasy Star Online so much that I literally I broke the in-game clock for how much I played that game.
So you're kind of fantasy started out, huh?
Well, I mean, the thing is, that was years ago. That was in that like basically my freshman year in college. I basically got to how can I put this nicely? I got to just basically do nothing for that for like 3-4 months before everything jumped off. Like, and I went to school. So basically, well, not entirely true. I also did. I did pre-college, but I only had like 4 classes, and they were easy classes that I could get a good grade on just by doing just the bare. So I had a lot of free time. So what I would do is I would go to class, do my homework, and it was like easy shit, like write an essay, do a 5-paragraph essay, do these worksheets, research this, and then write a synopsis of what it said. Shit like that, easy shit like that. And then I had like 6-7 hours, so I would play Phantasy Star Online in my dorm room.
Free time.
What?
I said in your free time.
Yeah, so I would play Phantasy Star Online. I played so much Phantasy Star Online that I broke the clock. Like, I played the shit out of Phantasy Star Online on my GameCube. I played that game so much it was
Borderline criminal.
It was criminal. It was criminal. I have no idea how I was able to to complete 2 majors and maintain a 3.5 while playing that game in college. I have no idea how I was able to do it, but I did it. But I played the shit out of it. So I'm actually kind of curious to play Phantasy Star Online too. Especially, look, if this shutdown is still going on, I'll have the time to start it at least. Because the money I was gonna use to go to Japan for like 4 months this year, well, I'm doing a vacation right now. And I didn't have to go to Japan. I'm just in my house. The good news is I don't have to worry about who used my toilet before and having strange people go into my room to clean it. So that's good.
Yeah, that's always. I'm sure that it's weird when you hire a room service or cleaning people.
Well, normally when I when I do go to Japan, I stay at either the Hilton or the Marriott. They're like second tier hotels. I don't stay at the really high end hotels because basically they overcharge you. They do like a 60-70% upcharge for everything, and you're getting the same type of service. So normally what I do is when I go to Japan is I'll get a hotel that's in the suburbs. That's nice, like really nice for the suburbs, where you get the same level of service, but you don't have to pay as much because it's not in like major areas. And that's what I'll do. I think like one year I did like the equivalent to that service where you stay in people's houses for X amount of time.
Yeah, Airbnb.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of Airbnb, but I didn't like that because I don't like staying in strange people's houses, because it's just really awkward. I'll tell you my favorite place to stay in Japan, where I feel the most comfortable, Okinawa. Okinawa is great because Okinawa feels like a mixture between Hawaii and Florida. And there's a military base there, so there's a lot of people that speak English.
Yeah.
And
is that an island or is that a city?
It's kind of like a isthmus.
What's an isthmus exactly?
It's where the land juts out and it has water on 3 sides. But I think where it's connected, like there's parts of Okinawa where Okinawa is. There's also like islands, like keys that are kind of like connected by bridges and shit. So, but it's tropical. They grow practically everything there. It's warm all year round, except during monsoon season where you get rain. But don't go there during monsoon season. It's just really a great place to go. People tend to be friendly as long as you're not with the military and an asshole. A lot of the older Japanese people do not like the military in Okinawa, but do what you got to do.
Understandable.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Okinawa, great place. Love going there. And the food is really good. A lot of fried food in Okinawa. Like they will fry anything in Okinawa.
Even tofu.
Of course, yeah, man. Fried tofu's delicious.
So they're like the south of the east then?
I mean, like I said, it's like if you took Hawaii, like Oahu or Mauna Loa, you took Hawaii, like the best parts of Hawaii, and smashed that into the best parts of southern Florida, if you can find them, because southern Florida's pretty shitty, and smashed it together in terms of like the weather and just the food. And it's a military base there, so you have a lot of expats who live near there. And, places that have to cater to Americans and people who speak English. Man, it's great. Because there are parts of Japan where if you go in there and you're not Japanese, they look at you like you're a fucking alien.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like that, because as a black person, I'm not like, listen, when I see someone staring at me like that, I think they want to do something to me anyway. You know, I'm like, hey, man. Um, you know, Okinawa is almost like a mixing pot where you get a little bit of that, you know.
Yeah, 'cause they're very Japanese are pretty xenophobic.
I mean, I'm not gonna say all Japanese. I'm just gonna say some Japanese are very
It's a
xenophobic.
portion.
It's some, especially like the older Japanese. The younger Japanese, not quite as much, but the older ones. Because, like, here's the thing: Japan is so homogenous that most Japanese people's only real exposure to people who aren't from Japan is shit they see on TV. And what they don't realize is that shit that you see on TV is not necessarily. Television is manufactured reality. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not like shit that you see on TV may not necessarily be even partially true. It may be only or it may be something that's true but's been hyper exaggerated in order to sensationalize it. So, um, yeah, that's that. I mean, like I said, the best time I ever had Okinawa. I think about 6 years ago, I spent about a month in Okinawa, and it was great. And they have barcades there that are fun as hell. Because they got to cater to military people.
I was about to say, I don't think they mean the Asian arcade machines, but the real McCoys, as in those.
Oh yeah, cabinets. Yeah, cabinets. They had arcade cabinets and just I mean it's like literally like some of the best in my opinion. I know some people are gonna get mad at me, but some of the best some of the best arcade and just like I'm gushing, but it's great. It's great, guys.
I was gonna say fanboying might be the word.
Well, I'm just saying, if you ever have a chance to go to Japan, go to Okinawa. You know.
Yeah.
The only other place that the other place that I really love is when I got a chance to go onto a when I got a chance to go to the Toho studio tour. So now, for those of you who might say, "Well, why the fuck is that an interesting thing?" The reason it's interesting is because Toho, like, okay, most people know Toho as the Godzilla people, right? Like they own Godzilla, but they also have a large amount of. They also were the studio for one of the most legendary directors of all cinema, named Akira Kurosawa. So basically, Akira Kurosawa, like some of the most iconic films of all time, made by some of the biggest Hollywood directors, were ripping off Akira Kurosawa's work. So like if you like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that was ripped off from, or not the good. If you like some of the best westerns of all time, they were ripped off from Akira Kurosawa. If you like shit, I forgot the name of it. The Seven Gunmen, stuff like that. That was ripped off from Seven Samurai from Akira Kurosawa. So you know, they have a lot of that paraphernalia at the Toho Studio Tour. So, yeah, I'm kind of a film buff. The only downside is I don't speak Japanese, so um, I had to hire a translator to go with me. So that's
And
the
that probably be a good cover your pocket.
Uh, well, it was a dude that I knew, so
He's probably like, hey, good to go to Japan for a few days.
no, it's a dude who lives there. When I did
Oh,
my semester
Yeah.
abroad, I stayed with his family, so he uh, he did it. He gave me a good price for it. So basically, he didn't charge me anything. All I had to do was just take him to just pay for his take him out to dinner and party. Let me tell you something, man. If you want to party with someone, go party with the Japanese because those people can drink and drink and drink and drink and drink some
Hopefully
more.
you weren't drunk under the table.
Well, no, I'm not a heavy drinker. When I do drink, I just kind of when I do drink, I just kind of just sort of drink a little bit, and then I kind of
Recover.
no, I nurse the same drink all night long.
so how's sake? Is it overrated or is it? I guess it depends who you get it from.
It depends on what type of sake you're drinking. I like sweet sake, which is served
Yeah.
really cold, and when you drink
Yeah.
it's sweet. So, like I like it because it's sweet. There's also the sake that you're supposed to like the really strong stuff that you're supposed to mix with other stuff, and that's kind of like that's a different beast entirely. Like basically, I mean, like everything else, it depends on what
Your taste does.
it depends on what your taste is and what you're trying to do. Like different types of alcohol are good for different things. Like I mean, kind of like here in America, um, like I like rum. Okay, like I really like rum, but not all rums are equal. Like what type of rum? There's white rum, which is just gonna get you drunk, and then there's golden rum, which is kind of like a mix between white and dark rum, and then there's dark rum, which overpowers everything in terms of its spiced flavor. Then there's spiced rum, which is rum that's had like different types of seasonings added to it while it was being distilled, which gives it kind of a different flavor. So it just depends on what you like. It depends on what you're going for, what flavor profile you're going for. Me, I like to when I do mix beverages, I will like if I do a rum and coke. Um, I know we kind of went off course a little bit, but why the hell not? When I do a rum and coke, what I like to do is I'll take a pony of rum, of golden rum, and then I'll add a jigger of some type of amaretto liqueur, and then I'll add Coke to that. And the amaretto liqueur basically is made with almonds and cherries, which in turn, like almonds and cherries are botanically in the same family. So basically, a lot of the flavors really meld with each other. And then I'll shake that up and hit with some ice and pour some Coke over it, and it's a good thing. But really, when I drink, I'm not drinking for the to get drunk. I drink because of the flavor and the cocktail mixtures and stuff like that.
Ah.
Yeah, I because I went to college with people that they would get drunk to get fucked up, and I couldn't. I can't do it.
Whoever drinks that much, how much they're spending.
I don't like being out of control like that. You know, like I don't want to be in a situation where I'm passed out drunk. Because I know people who would do that and who would get passed out drunk, and people would go and, you know, draw
Yeah.
dicks on their face.
You do not want to be one of those people.
I don't want anyone drawing anything on my face. Ever.
Thank goodness I'm not. I'll even try to touch from.
No. I'm not saying don't drink. Just, if you do drink, drink responsibly. A little bit here, a little bit there. That type of thing. So anyway, I guess we can get onto this free topic. So, what have you guys been playing?
I've been,
Um,
Who
for
wants to
me, I've
go
been
first? Okay, I'll let you go first, Joel. You're the lady.
okay. For me, I'm getting into various games. Well, been trying to see about the, been trying to basically see about the tactical RPGs and be playing Final Fantasy Tactics 2 or
That's
A2
the
like
the that's
that's the
A2.
DS.
Yeah, A2. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah. I've been going back on some of my library to see how it goes,
Yeah, the
and
story.
it's a little more stale in the story sense,
Yeah, the story's not quite
but
as good.
you got more.
Yeah, the story's not quite as good as the story's not quite as good, but the rest of it's pretty good. Pretty good game.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, like how you basically can get the different classes to work together and break the game is way more fun in that game.
Uh, uh, so if anything, you need to go through a lot of stories in order to unlock some of those classes.
Yeah, but like once you get like 6 or 7 characters in that game that you basically grind into almighty character classes, the game just gets almost too easy.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm just gonna kill everyone in here.
The the only dread I got is having to do any kind of task in the inland.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, Kenoshi, what have you been playing?
I just started playing Trials of Mana.
Really? How is it?
Yeah, it's all right.
That's it? It's only all right?
I haven't got played through a lot of it, so
Really? What's your party?
uh, let's see.
This may take a while, folks.
Uh, Reese is the main at the main. I forgot who I picked for the other two because I'm playing for my save demo
Oh, okay. All
from
right.
the demo. Yeah.
All right.
Hmm. You didn't get too far, but enough, right?
When I play that game on the original hardware, when I like typically I typically go either Kevin or Duran.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, really, Duran is really one of the because I mean he's already a swordsman, and I mean they are trying to get the sword of mana, so you know
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense that he would get the sword of mana, but like it feels a little bit too cheap to do that all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes I mix it up a little bit. But that's just me.
Probably story wise.
I mean, uh, I'm not gonna spoil the story for anyone, but if you played the original Secret of Mana, the story of Secret of Mana or Seiken Densetsu 3 is not really,
Fantastic.
not really. It's not like you're not gonna be like, oh my god, this is so amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing. But that's my opinion. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion, so I'm not gonna be like, you should share mine. Um, keep it moving, keep it moving. What have I been playing?
Champions bad.
Pardon?
It can't be as bad as that Final Fantasy VII remake.
Man, nothing is as bad as that Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, let's keep it real.
That
That
was a mess.
that would be a hard. That would be. Look, listen. If this game was as bad as that game, it
Yeah.
that's a hard road to hoe right there, boy. No, I've been playing Borderlands 3 with the new content that was added. I've been running the.
I'm not surprised that.
Well, I mean, the thing is like Borderlands 3 has a really, 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 really shitty story. Um,
Borderlands 3?
yeah, Borderlands 3's story is trash.
Well, I never played Border. I never cared about the story in Borderlands. But that's
Well,
just me.
I mean, how can I put this? The thing is like okay, the story in 2 wasn't great, but fighting fighting Handsome Jack, like the final battle against Handsome Jack in Borderlands in Borderlands 2, where basically like you're fighting against the Guardian while when Jack shows up you get a few pot shots at him. It's like this really tense exchange, right? The final battle in Borderlands 2 is, I'm not going to spoil it, but it is disappointing to the max. I mean, it is some bullshit.
I was about to say, whole content throwing BS, because if the story is that bad, that's a Mass Effect 3.
I mean, it's not okay. It's not Mass Effect 3 bad. It's just like the writing is really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the writing is really, really, really bad. Like it is. The gameplay has never been better. The gameplay is great. The gameplay has never been better in a Borderlands game. But everything else is bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like gameplay. Gameplay is great, but everything else around the gameplay is just like the side missions are bad. The I mean, it's kind of bad how bad that it's
Yeah.
kind of bad how bad that main story is. It is.
Yeah. I mean, I will agree with you. I think the villains in that story just come off as really annoying.
Yeah, they're like
Rather
we're
than
evil because it's like why are these villains evil again? Like what's their impetus? Like Handsome Jack, like basically, like Handsome
He's
you
one
don't
of those.
well
He's
to
probably one of those take over the world.
well to
Or
be fair, you don't find out why Handsome Jack is the way he is until you play the pre-sequel. Once you play the pre-sequel, you pretty much discover why Handsome Jack is the way he is. It makes sense. But like I mean, in Borderlands 2, like Handsome Jack's just so much of an asshole. You're just like, okay, this villain just totally needs to die. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Hey Google, stop.
By the way, you can also just say stop without having to start with hey.
Like he basically kills like okay. Like, here's the fucked up shit Handsome Jack does. Okay, in the first game he kills. I mean in Borderlands 2 he kills Mordecai's pet Blood Talon. Now, if you played Borderlands 1, Blood Talon was Mordecai's like beloved that he raised from an egg. So there's a connection there. So when he kills the character, it's like, wow, if you mained Mordecai in Borderlands 1, this dude's a total dick. You get what I'm saying? He kills Roland. So if you mained Roland in Borderlands 1, you're like, man, this motherfucker's got to die, you know? And then when you find out that he's basically been using his daughter as kind of like his get out of jail free card to do fucked up shit, it's like, wow, this dude's a sick bastard. So when you finally get to Handsome Jack, it's
I
like,
thought she was a resource and not get out of jail. Oh, brother.
I mean, Handsome Jack is an utterly unlikable antagonist. So when you finally kill him, it's like, yeah, fuck this guy, you know? Now, in the pre-sequel, they kind of ruined that a little bit by they're like, well, when he got into a vault and he sat on a chair and he got hit with with some of the madness from the Iridians and he went kind of crazy and he hit like his personality changed. It's like, look, stop trying to make this dude. That's the problem with a lot of series that they try to make villains sympathetic.
Likeable.
Yeah, they try to make villains sympathetic. It's like, stop trying to make villains sympathetic. You know, a villain is just a villain. Stop trying to be like, well, you know, actually, no. Stop doing that. It's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, we already some other games, and some of them are villains without need like DDD and Bowser, as far as I could guess.
They're like, well, actually, it's like, can we just have like a villain who's just evil? Like, whatever happened to that? Can we just have a villain that's just an evil bastard and we're trying to kill him? Can we just do that for once and stop trying to, you know?
Trying to give us both sides of the coin.
I mean, that's kind of like what happened with Star Wars, is that they tried to make Darth Vader into this sympathetic character. It's like, no, he's an evil bastard. The Emperor is an evil bastard. Stop trying to soften the edges of villains. They're villains. That's why they're villains, because they're not likable people. Damn it. Damn it, they're villains, damn it. Sons of bitches. But that's just me. You know, everyone has their own little things that they like and don't like. So yeah, I was playing that. I've been having a lot of fun with Borderlands 3. Like a lot of fun with it. The new content they added is great. The new Mayhem is a mofo. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is not easy.
So what's that about?
Well, basically, Mayhem before you could ratchet it up to 4. Higher Mayhem basically meant that enemies would have modifications to make them tougher to fight, but they'd be tougher to fight. But they also gave you more cool stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like better weapons. Like, for example, like there was a chance that they would drop basically right now I maxed up my character at level 57. That's the highest level cap you can have right now. And like the highest level weapons you could get up to that point were a score of like 624. But with Mayhem up, you have a higher chance of getting anointed weapons, which basically their score goes up to like 644, 634, 654 in some cases. So basically, now that Mayhem can be raised to level 10, like enemies are insanely powerful. Like you have enemies who can get healing drones. You have enemies who release elemental streams that can do damage to you if you get close to them, even after they're dead. It's kind of tough, but I mean, you're also getting better weapons. Like I got an Atlas gun that does 556 damage times 2. It's ridiculous. It's like, god damn, this is.
So where do you go to get that?
You just get them from defeating enemies. while the mayhem mode is up. So that's the way you can get better items. Which is what I've
So
been
is
doing.
it just an option that you turn on?
Yeah, you go. Well, actually, now back in the base game, you had to go to in order to up to up that, you had to go to the on the ship to after you beat the game once. You get this thing called the Mayhem Altar, and then you could basically raise it up to 4. But now that I've basically beat the game and they unlocked it, you can just go into your options menu and just up your Mayhem mode. So, which to me is cool, you know. I mean, like I said, is it perfect? No, but I mean, yeah, I like it for what it is. You know. So, yeah, I've been playing Borderlands 3. Been playing Fallout New Vegas again with mods, copious amounts of mods. Oh, and found out my old my new CPU. Um, relatively new. My relatively new CPU has actually bottlenecking my new GPU. So I'm gonna like I've got a 3300 AMD 3300, and it's bottlenecking my CPU. So I'm gonna get
Your GPU. So wait, you have a Ryzen 3 then?
no. It's a Ryzen 7 3300. It's in the like the latest line is 33 is the 3000 series. But the thing is that like I called myself I was like, because when I had my old GPU, it wasn't an issue. My old GPU was a 580, was a AMD 580X, and that was no problem. The problem is that now that I have a 5700 XT, I'm getting a bottleneck with my CPU. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna get a 3700.
Yeah, that's what I would get.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a 3700.
You would be even well off of the 3600X.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting that, but then I was like, nah, because originally the board was built for a 2700X. So if I get the 3700X, that's basically like the next generation of that particular chipset, just more efficient, better. So this way, I'm keeping with the theme of the board and everything. So because my motherboard is an MSI Bazooka.
Oh yeah, that's what I just sold a computer. That's the motherboard I use too.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna lie. The Bazooka's nice. The only downside is that since I've been upgrading shit, you know, and I'll probably sell this 3300X for maybe on eBay because I sold my old graphics card for like initially it was like 67, and by the time it was finished getting bid on, I sold it for like 130. So can't get mad because really, what?
Make sure you flash the BIOS before you upgrade the CPU. Or are you just gonna upgrade entirely?
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. I have to find a flash, a USB flash thing in order to do it, but it is what it is. So, get a new CPU, put that shit on there. Like I said, I'm going with the 3700. I could go as high as the 3950, but I don't need that much power. Not for a gaming PC. You know, if I was doing CGI or something like that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you know, if I was animating shit. But really, the little bit of stuff I do on my PC that's like resource intensive is like the most resource intensive thing I'm doing on my PC is gaming.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm rendering shit real time. You know, with you know, it's not like I'm doing CGI or anything like that. So you know, not that bad. So, oh, and I'll give you guys my take on Pac Man Championship Edition 2. It's a $10 game. If you don't have it on the Switch, you're not missing out on anything. I'm just keeping it real. You're not missing out on a damn thing because it's not that good of a game.
What game is this?
Pac Man 2 Championship Edition. Or Pac Man Championship
Oh.
Edition 2. It's that free game that everyone got except Switch gamers. Some of them are mad about it. It's like, how did we get fucked over?
I'm wondering. To be honest with you, I'm wondering, why the heck are you doing this? Because dick move.
I mean, it's not really a dick move. I mean, like, here's the thing, okay? Companies will get away with do shit as long as you let them get away with it. All right. Okay. When gamers will buy games on the Switch because it's on the Switch for higher than what it's priced on other platforms because it's on the Switch, they're letting companies get away with it. So if you let companies get away with fucking you over like that, that's the price you pay. I mean, I know that sounds bad, but
Hopefully, I at least speak with my wallet, and I haven't even if it came on the Switch at all.
I mean, to be fair with you, like I said, I got the game for free, so, you know, I wouldn't, let me put it this way, if the game was not free, I would not get it, if you get what I'm saying, all right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the biggest Pac-Man fan anyway. I like Miss Pac-Man and the original Pac-Man, and I'm good beyond that, you know, I don't need any other Pac-Man games, but, you know, not everyone is like that. So... that's how it be sometimes. So anyway, yeah, been playing a lot of that. Probably gonna upgrade my CPU sometime this sometime. Here's a little thing. Don't buy anything from Amazon that isn't food or like a necessity because it's gonna take a while for you to get it.
Well, it hasn't taken me the longest thing I had to wait for during, because I've ordered stuff during this time, was a Wi-Fi card. I needed a new Wi-Fi card because the Bluetooth module essentially went out, started crapping out. So.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, just for me, because I wanted to order a new. I wanted to order a new shit. I wanted to order a new shit. I wanted to order a new um, hand mixer because my old hand mixer is crapping out on me. And I mean, even though my forearms are strong, like when you want to make meringue and whipped cream by hand, I don't want to like take a hand whisk and, you know, spend 10-15 minutes just you know. so so having what?
Your arm?
Yeah.
Trying to pump your arm?
Well, I mean, look, listen. I can do it by hand. I can. I don't like doing it by hand.
As I said, unless you want to pump.
I can do it. I just don't like doing it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, there's.
Yeah, I get you. I'm just saying that if you for so long, you might want to get something that's automatic. Right?
So, I'm just saying, like, so I wanted to order one, and they were like, "Yeah, you'll get this like by May You'll get this by May 7th. I'm like, 2 weeks? I need this shit by at least Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that shit.
Sometimes you just gotta figure, sometimes, because for some items there are multiple sellers. And some sellers
No,
will
this
get
was
it to
from
you sooner.
this was from eBay. This is from Amazon directly. This wasn't a you know.
A third-party seller.
No, this wasn't a third party seller. No. Because sometimes third party sellers I've discovered on Amazon tend to be higher than even Amazon sometimes. Like Amazon's the cheapest, and the third party seller's a little bit more. So.
Yeah. That might also just because Amazon's able to at a cheaper price for.
Eh. Whatever. But anyway, that's my that's the only thing. Oh, well, of course they're cheap. They can undercut people because they're Amazon. What are they gonna do, you know? But yeah, yeah. Here's what I'll say. But anyway, yeah. Some things like unless it's like something that's ultra necessary, you'll probably have a longer thing. And there's some things you can't find because I wanted to get PS4 Pro because the PS4 now I have right now is a slim, and I'm like, look, I mean, the price should start coming down. You can't even find a PS4 on Amazon right now. You can find them on eBay. Can't find them on Amazon.
Are they upcharging you on eBay?
No, I mean, it's about like here's the thing: Sony consoles, the price doesn't really go down on those.
No. So now they've been some sellers have been gouging graphics cards. Like they've been selling graphics cards. Like somebody tried to sell GTX 970 for $350, and it's just kind of like, let's be out of your mind.
Yeah.
That card's 5 years old.
Exactly. Really? Well, I mean, because people are bored, and a lot of people are getting into PC gaming again. Like when I sold my 580X to a guy, and he's like, yeah, well, like I have like I think he has like a 1500X, and I'm like. He's like, I'm having problems with the card. I'm like, the card works just fine. The problem is that you're trying to play games at high settings with a 1500X, a AMD 1500X. That's your problem right there. Yeah. Your CPU is a bottleneck.
Like, see that's the problem. That's the problem. A lot of people make. They make. They'll cheap out on the CPU.
Yeah.
But they'll buy the most expensive graphics. It's like, no, you don't do that.
Well, I mean, if for me, when I had a 2700 and I had my 580, like the 2700 and the 580 weren't really like the 580 and the 2700 worked well together. They were built to work well together. But when I went to the 3300 and the 5700 graphics card XT, like even though the 3300 is more advanced, it's still not really, it's not at the same level. It's like taking a engine for a Camry and putting it in a Mustang.
Yeah.
Body. It's like, yeah, I mean, you can go fast, but it's not going to be as good as if you take an engine and it's built for this Mustang body. And that's kind of the issue with the console right now. I mean, that's the issue the guy was having. I was like, yeah, man, you might need to do that. He's like, okay, whatever. So, it is what it is. So... That's just to me. But anyway, that being said, anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I'm trying to think of it, but then again, yeah, we went over how some of the how some of the other companies have been dropping out of have been delaying their games basically, or some, even TV shows.
Yeah, a lot of games have been delayed, and here's what I'm going to say for people. Some of these games are being delayed because they need more time. Some of these games are being delayed, like Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed so that CD Projekt Red could get that game running on the Sex box and the PS5. And don't for a moment think that's not why that game was delayed. All right. Don't think that game was delayed because they were trying to do this, that, and the other. Okay. So
Yeah.
understand that. All right. So, or as Satoru Iwata says, please understand.
Understand.
Please understand. So, once you understand that, you'll be much happier. So that being said, I guess that's the end of this. That's the end of this cast. Anything you guys want to
Yeah.
pimp out before we wrap things up? Nothing. All right.
Not much to say. I mean,
Uh,
what other gaming news did you guys talk about?
We talked about. Well, I mean, you got here when we started with our first story. We first got to WWE 2K20 being canceled this year because the previous installment by the new studio was so abysmal. We talked about Nintendo and Valve having their hacks. We talked about Ninjala. We talked about the PC gaming show coming June 6th. So that's the only E3 type event we're having this year, and it's for PC gaming only. Oh, and also Nintendo if they have a direct, if they have an E3 direct, but it'll,
Yeah.
I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
That and the PC gaming show. I don't care about anything else. Sony shitting themselves because if the Sex box comes out for like $399, Sony's gonna shit themselves, and I'm gonna be laughing my ass off. I'm gonna be laughing my ass off like it's not even funny. We talked about the Pac Man Championship Edition 2, where basically Bandai Namco said "fuck you" to Switch owners. We talked about Fallout 76's new NPCs in their Wastelanders DLC stealing people's shit after they from their corpses and using it for themselves, and you can't get it back. You can't get it back. It becomes permanently part of their inventory, and you can't kill them. That's funny. I mean, come on, man. And Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to PC. So. With all that being said, I guess I'll pimp out something. To get in touch with the cast via Gmail, you can reach me at MrRedFoxBSBuster@gmail.com or at Twitter at Matthew Wesley at MrRedFox91. There you can leave me comments, questions, concerns, and all types of other things. So, yeah.
we So if anything, don't forget that you could contact with Gmail and other stuff.
That is correct.
But if anything, please remember, wash your beeping hands.
Yeah, please wash your hands, cover your face. Don't say stupid things. And if you're a young person, because I'm seeing a lot of young people do this. Like when I go to the store to buy something, young people up there and
Won't
won't cover their face. That's just really disgusting. All right. Okay. Because This is how herd immunity works. If everyone does their part, then no one's gonna get sick. So, don't do that. So with that being said, that's in the podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, good night, and Jewel? Okay,
Type
fine.
responsibly.
There we go. Good night.